Hey, gentlemen, let me ask you a tough question. How can a man have thousands of followers on Instagram, a calendar full of meetings, and still feel like nobody would notice if they vanished tomorrow? We're living in the middle of a paradox. We're the most connected generation in history and also the loneliest. And you know what, men, we're getting hit the hardest. Look, it's not just social media burnout or ghosting culture. It's deeper than that. We're talking about loneliness and how it is creeping in like a silent disease. And for many guys, it's becoming their default setting. But here's what I want you to understand and try and think about. Look, loneliness is not just a feeling, it's really a message. And if you're listening, you might hear what it's saying, that you're trying to tell you about what's going on around us. Look, guys, don't get this twisted. I am not talking about turning men into victims. I'm never talking about that. But what we need to do is be honest about the battlefield that we're walking into every day. Culture has been telling us for decades that we need to man up, be independent, don't cry, don't talk, don't feel. Be the rock, be the provider, grind in silence. And for a while, a lot of us believed that that's what that meant, was to be lonely. But guess what? The lone wolf lifestyle is going to kill us if we don't have the proper backing. Look, I'm 50 and I'm not going to tell you to hang out with your boys like you did when you were younger. For a lot of us, we don't even build tribes anymore. What we end up doing is we build timelines. For a lot of people, we're not warriors. Some of us are content creators, some of us are mechanics, and some of us just work in the office trying to get by day to day. And our emotional support system, if we even have one, if it ain't your barber or the occasional gym bro, it really is non-existent. And look, think about it like this. Some of y'all have had deeper conversations with your Uber driver than you'd have with the people you would consider your best friends. Here's the heavy part. Loneliness, it isn't just uncomfortable. It can be lethal. Self-deletion is the second leading cause for death among young men, and depression is at a record high. Anxiety, burnout, addiction, it creeps in like a quiet assassin. And the worst part is that most men don't say a word until it's too late. Look, when you walk through life with no one to talk to, no one to lean on, no one to challenge you, you're not just lonely, you're really in danger. Don't think I'm just talking about feelings, right? Look, the Center for Disease Control reports that social isolation is as dangerous to your health as, smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Let me say that again. It's like smoking 15 cigarettes a day. If you haven't thought about it, the Bible puts it plainly. It says 2 are better than 1. If either of them falls, one can pick the other one up. And that's Ecclesiastes 4, verse 9 through 10. Guys, I'm talking about loneliness here today. And so let me continue on, because really here's the plot twist. Loneliness, it's a teacher. It's teaching you that something is missing, something vital. Not money, not status, not more women, but brotherhood, purpose, and true intimacy. So look, guys, we are not made to do life alone. There are 7 billion people on earth. And that hunger for connection isn't a weakness. It's really how we've been designed. Look, guys, if your best friend is that DoorDash guy and he knows you better than your mama, okay, it might be time for you to reassess where you're going in life. Start with a real conversation. First thing I need you to do is to be intentional. Stop waiting for that friendship to magically apply. Pick up the phone and schedule a meetup. And don't just do it by text, man. Start with a real conversation. But the next thing for you to do, this is something much bigger. Men, we need to strive to share our mission. That's in our church group, that's a men's retreat, that's some sort of rec league that you volunteer in. You need to find a reason to show up for something bigger than yourself. Second, join something bigger. Man, we strive with a mission. Church groups, men's retreat, some sort of rec league or volunteer work. Find a reason to show up that is bigger than you. This third one's tough. You need to be vulnerable somewhere. Look, I'm not saying you need to cry on command. I'm saying stop pretending that everything is fine when your soul is on fire. The strongest men are honest. That's it. Here's the challenge of the week. Text one of your brothers you haven't talked to in a while and tell them what's really up. And then listen. I know what's good, bro, is not emotional intimacy. So try again. And look, hit them with something deeper. You know, you weren't just made for friends. You were made for fellowship and being connected with something eternal. Proverbs 18 verse 24 says, a man of many companions may come to ruin, but there is a friend who sticks closer than any brother. God is not a distant force. He's your father. He created you and he loves you. And you know what the wildest part is? He never leaves you. He never ghosts you. He's never forgotten you. You think you need more followers? We don't. What you really need is more faith, more purpose, and more presence. Gentlemen, loneliness is not your identity. It's your indicator. It's telling you that there is something in you that's broken. It's telling you that it's time to build. So build real friendships, build brotherhoods, build a legacy, and most importantly, build your life on something stronger than likes and empty nights. God didn't design you to be passive, to be an isolated man. He made you to lead, to connect, to love, to be shoulder to shoulder. So build some real friendships, build brotherhoods, build a legacy, and most importantly, build your life on something that's stronger than likes and empty nights. God did not design you to be a passive, isolated man. He made you to lead, to connect, to stand shoulder to shoulder with men who will fight by your side. That's you, man. So if that hit home, drop a comment, share your story, and reach out to your brother. Don't forget to like, subscribe, because we are building a real community of men who are going to sharpen you like iron sharpens iron. So men, you are not alone, but you have got to move to build these relationships. So go out there and do it. Be strong. And next time, go be legendary.